didn't you? Yeah. So it does a station number.
When does that all go live then?
So to find it, you have to go online.
Now, when does the FM go?
Early next year.
Oh.
105.5, I believe. Oh, hi. We now have somebody watching this. Please tell me that's not you, Claire.
Not yet.
Hello, whoever you are. Can you hear me? Please say yes or no. Nope. Could be me.
Still problems.
If you go to Twitter and find @TransitionSounds, it should be tweeting.
Okay.
Welcome. That finished quick. Welcome back to Secular Sounds. I'm David Simpson. This is Transition. Today with me in the studio is Terry Collins and Claire Wildman, who's desperately trying to find me. I'm looking at her across the studio and she's desperately trying to find us on Periscope. Please, Periscope users, jump on board, say hello, come and see us, and tell us how to find us because we're new to this. Right, so just before that track I mentioned the fact that we were going to come back to look at how we could find a job, or how you would go about finding a job. Claire, this seems to be your world. You're the one posting these things at the moment on Facebook. Where do you find them?
They're things that pop up in my feed. So there are some recruitment agents that are posting jobs live online.
Mm-hmm.
So following those, and then following where other people are sharing them. And I think that's the beauty, really, is that once you share them, they get shared on and shared on and shared on. So if somebody knows somebody looking for a particular job and they spot one on Facebook, they share it to them.
So I suppose we could be looking at a situation here where once upon a time, if you were living in Milton Keynes and you were looking to move to Birmingham, for example, you almost had to know somebody in Birmingham to be able to get hold of them, to say, look, can you look through the local papers, can you tell me what's about? And what we're saying now is with the joy of Facebook, that's not necessarily the case. So you could actually be thinking of emigrating to Australia. You could find that job on Facebook. You could contact them via Facebook and say, hi, this is me, this is what I do. Here's my page, this is my life. What do you think? I mean, that is really going to change the face of, well, everything.
Very much so. I think it's going to be harder, actually, for the employer than for the applicant.
Okay, explain.
So,
it's
fairly easy for the applicant to find jobs through social media, but the company is then going to have a harder job collecting applications through all the different channels that they're working with.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
So, just from the HR perspective, just managing that flow of information across so many different media.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough job because people will respond directly, say on Facebook or on Twitter, rather than necessarily following the please apply by
Interesting.
route.
Very interesting. Would you say then at that point it's worth advertising across a phased advertise, I suppose, so Facebook this week, Twitter next week, and then of course, you know, we're going to be doing a much more in-depth view of how to find a job utilising social media, in particular Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn as a combination, and we'll be doing that hopefully in a few weeks' time, which I think will be interesting to some. Terry.
Yeah.
The world of social media is changing things. How do you see... This is an interesting one. I mean, if you were looking for a job now, I know you've put your feet up and you're a man of luxury now, you know, swanning around the Welland Lake on your yacht. And... No?
Not quite.
I was sitting in your bath in a dinghy. That's it. Yeah, same thing.
Playing with rubber ducky.
How do you think social media would have changed your path, given the fact that you've now retired? If it was around 10 years ago,
I think it already has, because I get from LinkedIn anyway. I get a lot of offers on LinkedIn for jobs and for business propositions. I'm lucky in that my profile is read a lot. Why, I don't know, but it is. There's things that go on that people want to move into this country for various things, and they want a representative in this country. Not necessarily a sales rep, but someone to help them set things up. So, I get a lot of that sort of thing. So I think that will happen, and I think going forward that's going to take people into a different world where what we used to call headhunting is going to become Facebook hunting now, or LinkedIn hunting, because people are looking for the right type of staff, and if they get like LinkedIn, you have to put a summary of what you do, what you've done, that sort of thing, and that can fit into many slots for other people to look at.
Yes.
So I believe that you've even got a profile on Facebook which is not really very good, and a lot of people don't actually use it as it should be used, but then a lot of people are on there just for social
purposes. So I mean, ultimately, the name says on the tin, isn't it? It is social media.
But if you're using a business page, you need to put everything on there. So people can contact you, and it does work.
Absolutely.
And I think going forward it's going to work even better.
So do you think, now bearing in mind, for those of you who've not heard me banging on in the past, which can't be many people now in Milton Keynes, I think I've got around just about everybody, the education system is one of my favourites. And I'm a big advocate of the education system, of moving people in and around. It's where the original idea of transition came from. And it's still very much true. So if you're of that age, I'm very keen to hear from you. For the moment, please tweet me at Transition Sound. All become clear on that in a few weeks' time. Also, come and look at us. Look at us on Periscope. We're here. Look, there's Claire. She's much nicer looking than I am. There's Terry. He's Terry. So he's lovely, really. He really is lovely. And that's me. I know Claire's still trying. Are you still trying to find us? Have you found me yet?
I'm definitely not up with the kids and technology anymore.
Somebody tweet us, please, and tell us how to search on Periscope. And what's all the hearts? I like the hearts, but what are they?
Hearts are good. Hearts are like lights.
Oh, is that what hearts are?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Hearts are like lights. There we go. We've got a few of those. Now, back to my original question before I got lost in the world of Periscope. Do you think schools have an obligation now? The education system, so I'm not just classing schools in this, I'm talking about the whole system. So colleges, universities, the lot. Do you think that you turned your phone off?
I turned it back on. I want to play Periscope.
There we go. That's live in the studio can be dodgy. Do you think schools have an obligation now to actually ensure that on top of English, maths, science, we're including how to use those social media accounts in the correct way? Claire?
I don't know about whether it's their responsibility or not, but it would be advisable, I think.
Ooh, nicely put.
It's a good way of making sure that people are aware of the potential dangers of using social media. And within that, you've got the aspects of things like people putting it out there that they're at a certain place when they've advertised their address earlier. So letting people know that nobody's home.
I haven't, by the way. But I think most people know where we are, so we're all right on that one.
Things like that, but also things like people are now getting caught out, say if they've rung in sick at work and they're posting that they're out with their mates on Facebook.
Yes.
And that's becoming very
And who?
I like the fact that it's encouraging people to be honest.
It is, isn't there? Because, I mean, as you know, let's say you're being a bit sneaky and you've taken the day off work and you're being very clever about not posting your social media, and I walk past with my Periscope.
Yeah. Or your mate tags you in a picture.
Yeah. You can't avoid it, can you? So the key is, I mean, we have to learn, like you say, we have to learn to use these tools and to understand the risks. They're no more dangerous than anything else we've ever had. I think, like you say, they're actually encouraging people to be much more honest. Yeah. For those of you who want to find us on Periscope, at Transition Sound for now, but we will be doing something a bit clever with that shortly. When I say shortly, I don't mean today. Look, there's the on-air sign. It's all right. For some reason, I pointed it at that sign, and our viewing figures went up. So I don't know whether that says something about me or something about you guys, but there we go. Yeah, I mean...
Coming back next week, Terry.
Terry always comes back. The world is changing. Please send us your views at Transition Sound, or send them to at Seclo Sound. Drop on the website, seclosounds.org, and all will be revealed. Now, there's some really, really interesting stuff going on within the world of Seclo Sound. Some of it you'll have seen in the paper, some of it you haven't, but there's an awful lot of things going on. It's a very big time for us and a very positive time for us, and I'm quite proud to say that I've joined at the right time. Now, Claire, would you have used social media when you were at school?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know is the honest answer. I struggle with the fact that people tend to be actually physically using phones, social media and various other things at school and at work, because my upbringing was you go there for the purpose designed. So for me, I really struggle with people in the workplace using Facebook because you're there to do the job. However, clever companies are building it in, so making it part of the job. And how better to promote your company than have your workforce being able to use Facebook and say good things about the company they work for.
It's true, isn't it? You can't ban it. Let's be real. You can't ban social media. It's impossible. I go to several companies a week, I suppose, who say, "Oh no, we don't have a social media problem. We've banned the use of Facebook and all the rest of it." Well, you haven't. You know, as Claire's just said, you can't. You step outside that door, and suddenly the world is now tweeting, and they're on their mobiles. We're getting 4G, which, you know, I'm on O2. If you're listening O2, please bring 4G to Milton Keynes. It's here, but it's so patchy.
I've got it.
You've got 4G. Hang on, Terry. You say again?
I've got 4G. I'm with 3.
Oh, yeah. See, 3's got. Yeah, you're okay.
Thank you.
But O2, for some reason, are taking their time bringing 4G to Milton Keynes, and it needs to happen because
the thing is, they all use the same aerials.
It's all licensing, isn't it?
Their problem is licensing, not actually doing it, because they don't build their own. It's all done through the ones that are already here.
Yeah, there we go. Learn something new every day. Okay, so again, you're listening to Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes. My name's David Stimson. The show is called Transition. With us is Claire Waldman and Terry Collins. You can tweet us, and please tweet us on Transition Sounds. So at Transition Sounds. We are live on Periscope at Transition Sounds. We are in the studio, and this is the Shadows. What's your Twitter handle?
That's a good one.
What's your Twitter handle?
Claire Waldman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't mess down.
Well, I had Periscope, but I just downloaded it again for some reason.
Oh, I found a search button.
Oh, there's just quite a load here. Oh, Periscope boy.
Periscope viewing at the moment, is it? Sitting here trying to find
For those of you watching us on Periscope, here's what we're doing at the moment while the song's playing. This is what happens in a radio studio while a song is playing, okay? So you've got me. I'm here. I'm tweeting away. You have Terry over there. Terry is on his phone. Let me just... you got Claire. Claire's over there.
Yep.
Claire's on her phone.
Yep.
Okay, so...
It's your fault for bringing
This is radio live happening here. It's good, isn't it? So this is the world, and this is all the twiddly knobs. There you go. Say hello to the twiddly knobs. It's quite interesting, really. It's a nice little studio. This we've got 1 minute 17 seconds. See, I have to keep an eye on all that. Like where these two over here, they can just sit around and have fun and enjoy themselves, which is great.
I've just downloaded Periscope and can't find it now on my phone.
That would be why Terry's that side of the desk. Okay. But please follow us. Come and see us. We're here every Thursday from 4 till 5. It's always slightly chaotic, but we like it that way. Bear with me. I have to do some work.
but I haven't got 40 minutes.
I was playing with it this morning.
Are you?
I was listening to some bloke, I don't know who it was.
You should have had a tweet from me, Claire, if it's working.
I have had a tweet from you.
Oh, there we go. That's from that transitions. So that should lead you to Periscope somewhere along the line.
Well, it kind of did, but it took me to something and then it said download Periscope. And it's like, I've already got
It's in
Periscope.
here. Hi. Very strange. Look, let me see if I can get the... There we go. Look at that. Now you can see Seclo Sounds and me. Do. And we're back. Welcome back to those who... why do I always say that? I always say welcome back to those who've just joined us, which is bizarre, because if you just joined us, you're not coming back. My name's Dave Stimson. This is Seclo Sounds, and the show's called Transition. Oh, hello. Who's that just joined us?
That's me.
That's Claire. Hello, Claire. Claire's just found us on... I got all excited there. Now we are both periscoping each other from the opposite sides of the studio.
No, I found you because I'm not periscoping, so I'm not live.
All right, Claire's not live, so we're all right. That's okay. We're talking all things social media. Claire. Social media in the workplace. How do we control it? It's there. We have to accept that. How do we regulate it?
We have to work with it, I think. And what that's going to mean better working with employees. Something I'm kind of out of step with working for myself.
Yeah.
But, people will talk about work. People will know where they work. So it's only a problem if they in work don't agree.
We always have talked about work, haven't we?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's just that it's out there now for the world to access rather than just your mates.
Send me some hearts. What happens if you send me some hearts? Oh! That's really good, that is. I like that.
It's not fair, I can't play.
Oh, never mind, Terry. You'll be okay one day. I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, once upon a time, I suppose what used to happen would be you would you get out in the pub and you talk about work in the pub. And you'd say, oh, rubbish day. But now it's live, isn't it? But everything's live. Everything we do now is out there. It's live. The world sees it. We have, I've mentioned this before, but we have Sky News who use a version, I suppose, of something like Periscope. I'm sure there are other platforms available as well, but Periscope's the only one I know of at the moment because that's the one I've been playing with. But you can log on to the Sky News app and you can be a reporter stood at the side of the road. So social media is absolutely live and absolutely key. How do you use it as a tool, though? I mean, we still haven't really. We've talked about all the stuff we know. So, Claire, I'm going to pick on you again. I'm nice like that. You disappeared for 2 weeks, so hey.
Yeah.
So you have to pay the price. If you were in school now, okay, and you were looking for that first job,
Okay.
how would you do that using, let's say, new media? Let's stay away from Facebook and Twitter and all the normal ones. Let's say new media, so the whole smorgasbord of social media that's out there. How would you use that to find a job? Because I'm sure there are people out there now who are in this position. They may be just leaving school, just finished their exams. You're the guys we're talking to. We want this show to reflect what you need, and we want to be of some use to you. That's the whole reason we exist. How would you go about finding that job using those new media?
Finding the job or getting the job? Because I think they're two quite different things.
Okay, you can have finding. Terry, you're going to get getting. How about that?
So finding, basically, it's still going to come up on your search engines. So any job, whatever platform they're advertised on, will be searchable.
Mm-hmm.
Creating the opportunity for a job would be slightly different in that you as you mentioned earlier, you could start getting in touch with companies. It would be a way of getting some work experience. You could contact them direct through social media and ask for the opportunity to go in, ask for the opportunity to go in and help, or just to go in and observe.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps appropriate for what we're doing at the moment. I've read Chris Evans' autobiography.
Brilliant book. Which one? Because there's both books.
Yeah. And he started out by offering help free on radio to get the experience, to get the understanding of how it worked. He put in a huge amount of hours to get his dream job.
Yeah.
By contacting people and saying, let me come in and do for you.
Okay, I'm going to use that as a slight jump in here. By all means, if you are in that position and you fancy sitting behind the big desk on the comfy chair, I say comfy chair in a very, very light fashion, because it's not that comfy. It's even worse since it broke last week. But if you want to sit in this chair, visit the Seclo Sounds website, which is www.seclosounds.org. Go and have a look on there. You will find somewhere on there is a link to applications. If you want the chance to be on the radio, a la Chris Evans, as Claire was saying, please fill in the application form and send it back to us. We are community radio. We're here for you and to give the community opportunities to have their voice. So without you jumping on board, come to us with an idea of a show. Let us know what's going on, and we'll see if there's anything we can do to make you at home with that situation. So, okay, Claire, let's take it. We found our job. We've contacted them initially, and they want to know more. Terence, how would we go about that? How would you go about that? They want to know more. Let's say the job's in Glasgow, and you're in Milton Keynes, and you're looking to relocate. You found the company. They want to know more. How would you go around it? Using new media. So I'm not about jumping on a train and going up there. Embracing new media, how would you secure that job?
Well, I think you've got to know what they're looking for one thing, before you can actually advise yourself on what you are and what you can do.
We've done this. You've contacted them initially. They're interested in knowing more.
Right.
What would you do?
Well, you could send
He
us...
loves coming in here.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, there's many different ways you could do it. You could send us a CV of what you've done, who you've done, and everything else. If they're a modern company, they're going to look at your social media anyway to see what sort of comments you put on there. And that's why I say people have got to be very careful about what they put on Facebook.
Careful or honest?
Sorry?
Careful or honest?
No, honest and careful, because people put on things that in anger, if they've upset with someone, and that stays on there. it's things like that, or they might have a disagreement about a certain thing that's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You've really got to keep them sort of opinions off of Facebook, because if you're looking for a job, we'll look at that.
But have you? This is the thing that I'm trying to get at. Yes, there's no excuse for manners. There's no excuse for bad language. We should never. You shouldn't type something that you wouldn't say, and you shouldn't say something that offends. I'm absolutely advocate of that. Manners do cost nothing, and I think sometimes we forget that. So expletives apart and bad language, shall we say, apart. Is it right that you withhold your views? Is it right that you don't say something about, well, I don't like the way this is being done, and you think, that could reflect badly on me in a couple of years' time. Maybe I won't put that on a social media platform. Let's leave it at that. When the reality is, that is your opinion, that is your view, and if you go to an employer who is backing, I don't know, let's pick one of the wars. There's a war somewhere. Come on, country A is at war with country B, and you don't agree with it. And you put that on your social media page, but you think, no, actually, better be a bit more sensible than that. Better follow the advice. I'm not going to post that on my Facebook page. And then years down the line, you get a job, and you find that without you knowing, because they've not put it on their Facebook page, you're now working for a company that was directly supporting that war. Where does that leave you? If you still really deeply don't agree with it, and you're now working for somebody that does, what do you do?
Well, I still think you shouldn't put it on, because it does reflect on you as a person. It doesn't matter. Your opinions can actually get you into more trouble than they're worth. There was an actual case on the telly, admittedly, but it was a real life show, and this girl was very disgruntled with the company she worked for. So she got the sack because of what she was putting on Facebook. And she didn't mean it.
But again, how was it put? I think we have to look back to, how was this put onto the platform? Was it incorrectly worded? The question I kind of pointed was kind of ethics, I suppose. If you didn't agree with something that the company you've ended up working for support, so their view is completely the opposite of yours, could you stay working for them?
I think it depends on the view, but the answer to that is no.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, would it be right to not put that on your platform? If you'd put that on your social media platform 5 years before... I don't think it is right on there. Because at the end of the day,
some opinions are best kept, to yourself.
Yeah.
And although I do believe people shouldn't hold things back,
sometimes it's better to bite your tongue.
Facebook is one of the world's worst for that sort of thing, and it's only the people that make it like that. They put comments on there that they really believe, and I don't disagree with them. I disagree with them putting it on a platform like that, because it's too public.
I would say think about your audience before you share your view. So if it's something that you really do believe in, it's part of, going back to one of the earlier shows, your core values, it's that important to you.
Why not share it?
But be careful how you share it in terms of how you word things, be considered, be appropriate, and just get your point across. It's like anything, when you're trying to share your opinion with somebody, don't make it necessarily controversial. Just share your opinion, be as factual as you can. Who knows, somebody else might agree with you and be waiting and get a lot of comfort from that.
Yeah.
If it comes to your employer, that's your choice then, again, about do your values match your employer's values? Can you handle it if they don't?
It's a challenge, isn't it?
It is.
It's something that's becoming... Well, it's here. I think years gone by we probably didn't even know, but now we do.
Again, it's an important part of the job search, because you get a chance to search about the employer you're going to work for, as well as they get a chance to search about you.
Very much, which kind of loops back nicely again, doesn't it? So we have Terry with the view of know, think of what you're doing, and be cautious. And again, pick your audience, I suppose. We have Claire with yes, but very, very cautiously.
Bear in mind the implications.
Yeah, I suppose I'm sitting in the world of I want to know what you think about that particular thing, and I want to know how it means to you, but I want it to be polite. That's the difference to me. I want it to be not only polite, but I would like it to be well researched. So, if you're going to publicly state your opinion, even in conversation, let's be real, right? We all live now. I mean, I have the world's knowledge in my phone. That's where we've got to now. In fact, I have the world's knowledge on my watch. That's really where we've got to. So, yes, have your opinion about whatever it is. But if you're going to publicly state that in any platform, and that includes, talking to somebody in the pub, I suppose it should do, shouldn't it? Then I'm trying to find a polite way to say get your facts right. But ultimately, that's what it boils down to, isn't it?
Well, no, I think even if you've got your facts right, I think you've still got to be careful about what you put in the public domain. You've got to think of, it's like everything else. I mean, okay, I'm old and I have different values than some of the people today, but if you had a tattoo on when I was going for a job, you wouldn't get it.
No, absolutely.
Now that's quite acceptable, and I haven't got a problem with that. But I'm talking about times. But in 20 years' time, when you've made that comment, and all of a sudden, how many times have you questioned why did you leave your last job?
Yes.
Or why was you sacked from your last job? Being sacked is an acceptable issue. But if you get sacked because you're at a fight with a manager, would that company employ you?
See, this is why I pick my guests the way that I do, because we have Claire with her young modern thinking, and we have Terry with actually, to be fair, Terry does a lot of work with young people, and his views are still. I'm not trying to come across ageist here, but you've got very modern views. But you're right, the tattoo thing is an absolute. I mean, I've got tattoos, and they all stop at my wrist. So hang on a second, speaker people. There we are. You see, if you're looking at us on Periscope,
Can't see.
no, there you go. How about that?
It wasn't a criticism of tattoos, because.
No, but you've got a point.
But I'm just thinking there are still some people. I mean, a friend of mine's got, I think they call them sleeves now, but he's had that for years, and he regrets the day he ever had them done, because now he's a manager. Well, he was. He owns his own business now, but he was a manager.
Yeah.
And it was frowned upon within the company.
Yeah, and it does.
And it upset him because he had them done, and then he regretted it.
We've had this conversation before about. I think it was one of the early shows, wasn't it, Claire, with the whole ethics and all the rest of it. Yes, think about your actions. They can come back and have an implication. You're right, there are lots of people out with tattoos today. Personally, I'm not sure. I like my tattoo. And in fact, I think Terry's really hit on a valid point here that is relevant. So I'm going to stop the tattoo conversation because we've gone a little bit off track, but I am going to bring the tattoo and appearance back in a few weeks' time, I think, because I think that's one that... so, if you're out there and you're even younger than the rest of us, younger than Claire even, that's about,
easy.
15, please do drop us a line using the hashtag transition@SecClassSounds. Email us for my attention, for the transition team. I'd love to get you on the show. If you're looking at us on Periscope, again, please get in touch. If you're in Milton Keynes, you have tattoos, get in touch. I want to know your opinion. Equally, can I throw this out to tattoos? Yes. Tattoo studio? Yes, please. I'd love to have somebody from a tattoo studio here. And if there's somebody from a laser clinic that's listening that may pick this up, please get in touch. I'd love to have you all around the table with Terry, Claire, myself. Let's have a chat about this because it could be huge. Claire, just before we wrap up, any final views on today's show?
Oh, gosh, we covered so much. I think my main comment would be just think before you press send.
Terry?
I think I could just agree with Claire on that, because whatever you do, social media is good and it's bad. You've just got to make sure that you're thing right.
I can give you. You've also got to make sure your phone doesn't ring in the middle of the broadcast. Sorry, that one was actually me. Okay, well, with that in mind, this has been Transition. I am David Stimson. Big thanks to Claire, big thanks to Terry. We will see you again, same place, same time, next week. Playing us out. It's not that one. Oh dear, it's all gone terrible. It was going so well, and then it didn't. Let me try this again. That's really weird. Okay, we'll use this one instead. There we go. Same time, same place. Next week.
The pro's not coming anymore.
They turned up last week. They might have turned up this week, is it?
Holiday.
Well, they finished all their exams last week, didn't they? They were saying.
I'm not playing this track, and it's playing. Should finish about
Actually,
that
I
time.
thought DJ.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to have some dead time at the back of it, because it should be alright. Twice it's done that to me with that track. So that's going to finish in just under 3 minutes. Then I might just sit and keep half an hour on it, just in case I have to throw something else. But it should be fine. But there might be a few seconds short.
What a hold that for us. We're friends.
I'm good at throwing a question.
Yes. Okay, there we are. For those of you watching still on Periscope, sometimes it doesn't go quite right. We'll see you again next week.